The last guy I really liked, I remember I sat in the car waiting for him to open the car door, and we were just at the gas station, and he was already inside of the gas station, and I was like,
just sitting in the car.
I was like, homie really doesn't get it. No, so like that kind of stuff is just like out the window.
It's really a shortage of good men out here. So if you got a good man, you need to make sure you're taking care of him. Stop cheating on these good men, because then you got them out here cheating on good women. Never let go of that good man, because it's always a clean-up woman like me that if you let him go, I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to make sure that man is good. Like Betty Wright said, I'm definitely going to clean up after you. Everything that you didn't do for him, I'm going to do for him. A good man deserves to be taken care of. So make sure you take care of that man, because if you let him loose to these streets, he going to run into a good woman like me, and it's over with.
Most men, the vast majority of men and then some, will not be able to get past that initial reality that you perform or engage in some type of act for money. They're not going to be able to get past that. And it is because guys don't like promiscuity in women. It's not appealing to them. They don't like the high body count. They don't like to think about you having been with other guys. If they don't like to think about you having been with other guys, how do you think they're going to process and handle the reality of having all of that unfold on the internet with a lot of different guys publicly in an open space that people can screenshot stuff and it can get saved? Stuff on the internet is forever. We all know that in some way it comes back to haunt you. So how are they going to get past that?
A lot of these women don't really understand you can't mock a man for shooting his shot and then wonder why he stopped shooting. Wonder why he stopped approaching you. Because you were being an idiot.
You think this is normal? You work all day and then hide out here instead of being inside.
That man is hiding from you because he wants peace. All men want peace when they come home. And apparently your man can't get peace when he gets home, because he gets home and he immediately gets criticized. He immediately gets yelled at. And instead of him coming home and you noticing he's outside and asking him gently and kindly and with respect why he doesn't want to come inside, you immediately throw criticism at him. You immediately yell at him. You immediately judge him. That is why he doesn't want to come inside. Instead of yelling at him, criticizing him, demanding something that you don't understand from him, ask him instead, kindly, humbly, without criticizing him and without disrespecting him. Maybe he'll tell you the truth. And if he doesn't, it's because you've never given him the space, the emotional space, to be safe to open up to.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Hi, women don't leave good men. It usually takes a woman a really long...
That's a lie. That's a lie. Who told you? Why are y'all lying? You guys lie way too much. Way too much. Ever heard of that saying, when nice guys finish last? There's a reason that saying exists. You know, because there will be men that will work their asses off, do everything that the woman wants to do. They'll sit there and do everything in their power to keep the woman happy. And what does she do? She cheats on him. She leaves him. She says he's too nice. She says, oh my God, it's like I'm bored. Like that's what we're talking about. Women do leave good men. They do leave good guys. They leave good men. Stop bullshitting. Talking about women don't leave. Oh my God, who told you that?
Modern women, it's crazy because they say that, well, I wanted to be left alone. I don't want men talking to me. And when men leave you alone, then you get upset. Men heard you. They stopped approaching you. They stopped messing with you and quote unquote harassing you, as you say. And now you're confused as to why the request that you made was honored. This is what you asked for. What are you talking about right now?
I think that a lot of times women will respect a man that's outside of their relationship before they respect the guy that they with.
Why do you think
that? You know what?
100%.
I can't. I'm not going to push against that. What I actually will do was add to that. When JT and I first got back together, I had like a roster of dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bookie, Rashady was
break
there.
that up.
Had like a lot.
But
I
love you.
People that I have been, talking to and whatnot. And when we went to the restaurant with my friends for my birthday, a guy that I had been texting with or whatever texted me like, "Hey, I just saw you walk in. Come here." And I looked at JT and I looked at my phone and I looked at JT and I said, "I walked in here with this man. I'm not about to get up and go to another man's table and speak to them and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing." That was the first time I respected a man like that.
Oh, wow.
So you saying that a lot of women are with men that they don't respect, I agree with you on that, because even being in relationships before that, I never cared to respect no man because I knew they wasn't my forever mate. I didn't care about, you don't like when I do this? Boy, I don't give a
A lot of girls wind up getting into a relationship with a guy that they settled for. It's not even the guy that they want.
That part.
You got a boyfriend or something?
Okay, that's enough. No, that's enough. You need to be.
And that's why guys are not approaching girls anymore, and you guys wonder why. You know what's sad too is that later in the video, there was an employee that was working there that was saying, see, this is why boys do not approach girls anymore. Guy was just trying to talk to her and ask for a number. He's very straight and to the point, you know? And yet you got this girl in the pink shirt trying to interfere. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just talking to her. He wasn't harassing her in any kind of way, and yet it's a problem. This is exactly what we were talking about when guys say they just simply cannot approach a woman anymore, or a girl, or a guy, or boys cannot approach girls anymore. Because this is what you guys are doing. You guys are sitting there acting a fool when what this man was doing was just completely harmless. Like, girl, go be miserable somewhere else. Shoe fly shoe.
A lot of these men approaching now are the ones that don't really care about rejection. Those are the creeps that you guys are talking about. Not all the guys, but there are a lot of men out there that are approaching that really don't care nothing about your feelings, right? I don't really care about rejection. I don't care about much else either. I don't really even care about you. I'm just trying to get the draws.
The thing about a good man that a lot of women don't realize is that he believes that when a woman says no, she means it. And even if he's questioning whether or not she means it because maybe her body language or other choices just are not adding up, that man is still going to take the solid no because he's either respecting the boundaries of a woman that means it, or he's not participating in the games of a woman that doesn't mean it but wants him to chase. It's really a win-win because a good man that knows his value, he's going to pursue a woman that he's interested in, but he's not going to chase because he believes that persisting after somebody that says no is extremely disrespectful. And because of this, the woman that says no but actually means yes, they end up keeping the attention only of men that don't think that it's disrespectful. And guaranteed, that is the group of women that years later are still asking, where are all the good men? Well, you filtered them out because good men, they will take your word and they will move on. Trust me.
You know, a lot of men are not approaching because they learn their lesson, right? Tried being a gentleman, learn my lesson. Tried being, the good guy, the stable guy. I learned my lesson. Try to be assertive. Try to be vulnerable. I learned my lesson. In all of these situations, modern women are continuing to ruin the dating market with their foolishness.
Why do men stop pursuing?
There's about a lot of different reasons. I'm going to say 3, but in that particular case, it's because the chase was over. The idea of her was more fun than the reality of her, but chasing her was the part that he liked. Actually having her was different. Whereas the second one would be the dream girl wound. I fall in love or I fall for the idea of you, but the reality of you is not something that I'm interested in pursuing or getting to know. And then, of course, the third one is he simply isn't interested.
And when a man stops to pursue, do you try to get him back or do you drop him cold turkey?
I don't think that it's a woman's job to try to get a man to do anything. If he pulls away, then that's on him and she keeps moving forward. I'm a huge fan of women being the lighthouse, not a laser beam. And a laser beam is so hyper-focused in one direction that she can't see that there's so many other amazing things and people available to her. Her job is to stay open. Her job is to accept whatever it is, even if it's painful. It's okay to be in pain over this, but you keep moving because the right man will continue to pursue you and make it known that he wants you.
The real reason.
Watch how many men get up to allow this lady to sit down on a crowded train. Yeah, chivalry is dead. I'll never understand this mentality. Man, you should always offer a lady your seat, especially in a situation like this. And if they're walking into the store, you wait and open a door for them. Ladies always go first where I'm from. And to those of you asking where all the good women are, well, I'll tell you. They're right in front of your face. You just can't lift your head to see them. You're too stuck in a digital world. Imagine if one of these men were single and they took the time to look up and notice her. And like a gentleman, offered her their seat. Imagine the conversation that sparks. That's where the good women are. Someone who just wants to be noticed with respect and not catcalled while simply minding her business. But no, y'all are too busy looking at other things instead of the beautiful ones in front of you.
A lot of these modern women keep on asking, where are all the chivalrous men at? What's going on with them? Well, it's simple. You mocked him into retirement. And so now instead of him coming out and approaching you, and even if y'all don't come together on some type of agreement, like, oh, I'm not interested, he might stick around and say, hey, you seem like a pretty cool dude. Now you don't even get that because you was being a loser, and now he's like, I don't want to deal with that crap.
So today we have the fear of rejection, and this is extremely common today. I would say almost 90% of guys have the fear of rejection. This is what makes the competition so low, because all these women talk about guys don't approach me, nobody comes up and starts a conversation anymore, and that stems from the fear of rejection. You guys are scared all of just somebody saying no. Who cares? Because everything you want is on the other side of the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection is what's holding you back from finding a partner. The fear of rejection is what's holding you back from getting some. Now, why do you even have the fear of rejection? The worst thing that can happen is a woman's gonna look at you and say, holy, you are disgusting. Get out of my face. Which 99% of the time probably isn't gonna happen. They're probably just gonna say, not interested. And what do? You move on to the next one and get on with your day, because it ain't that big of a deal. Beating this will 100x your chances at success with women or success with anything in life. You need to beat the fear of rejection. If you're out and you see a woman you like, go up and talk to her. Because the worst thing that happens is she says no. It ain't that bad. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today, and I'll see you at the same time again tomorrow.
And you know, I think modern women have to understand that you can't have it both ways. You've been loud and clear for literal years. Don't approach me in public. It's harassment. And men heard the message and they stopped. Simple as that. And now, for some reason, modern women are confused about why men are not approaching them. You created this situation. And then you're going to blame men for following the rules that you set. That doesn't make any sense. Think about what you're talking about.
There's been a lot of conversation lately about women leaving good men or women walking away from a man that's a quote unquote good man. And I think a part of the problem is that a lot of men define themselves as good men and they actually aren't. These self-proclaimed good men think that they are because they don't cheat on women or beat on women. But it takes more to being a good man than not doing those things. And just because a man is a quote unquote good man doesn't mean he's the good man for you. Some of these quote unquote good men don't respect women. They weaponize their incompetence. They don't take care of their children. They're disrespectful. They consume manosphere red pill content all day and they think that women are beneath them. I feel like the men who are acting as if women are being too picky or we're looking for the perfect man if we don't want the quote unquote good guy, it's the same energy as saying for them to settle. It's like the saying goes, give a man 10 women and he'll keep looking. Give a woman 10 men and she'll choose. They want you to choose out of this small batch of men and say, hey, out of these 10 guys, which one do you want? Yeah, but there's more than 10 guys out there. And even if he's the nicest out of the 10, doesn't mean that he's what I want. These men want single women to say close enough. He's good enough. He'll do. But that's not what men say. They take their time. They're in no rush to find what they want, but they want to rush you along. They want to make you feel like you're up against the clock. You're running out of time. Your childbearing years are over. That's why they try to tell you that after 25, you're no good and all that. They have a vested interest in trying to hurry you up and picking one of them because they know if you actually took your time, they wouldn't even get picked.
The cold approach died when approaching became a crime. It's really what happened, right? So when you started recording men, started insulting men, shaming men, doing all this other dumb stuff. That's when men said, oh, shoot, this not for me. Oh, this not the life for me. Oh, she's not that cute. Then, oh, man, you know, I got dressed up. I look cute and no men approached me. Have you ever audited the way you act when men come and approach you? Have you ever thought about that? Of course.
Standards are based on your fundamental needs in order to feel secure and loved and respected in a relationship. Your standards are the things that basically make it so that you can feel okay in love. They reflect your own self-respect, because if you know what you need in love and you allow yourself to look for a partner who can give you what you need, you won't settle for anything less. Wow, that takes a lot of self-respect. And that is something that I personally have had to learn. When you are trying to find a partner, standards are the foundation of just your ideal partner. There's no such thing as the perfect partner, but there is someone that can come into your life that can help you in so many ways that you might not even realize you need help with. It's not our partner's responsibility, but you're looking for someone who can help you in any of the ways that you need to feel secure and loved and respected. That's what they are there to do. So you have to look for someone that can fit your needs. Standards reflect how you believe you deserve to be treated in a relationship. That's the truth of it.
And then, you have so many women out here that are just weird. They're just weird. Oh, there's no reason to approach me. There's no reason to be around me, except to just have normal human interaction. There's so many women that complain about men not approaching, and men, not even for approaching, not even for dating purposes, but they just be social, man. I don't want to talk to women all the time. I want to talk to some guys. I want to see what they're up to. Well, whenever you guys talk sideways, whenever you guys talk crazy, what are you expecting a man to do? What do you think a man is going to be doing? You think a man is going to be walking up to you if you're not friendly? I mean, guys, come on, man. It's not rocket science.
The reason that you find that some men are not naturally courteous or chivalrous anymore, or, just have a general kindness to women, is because there are women that don't have that requirement. For those of you who are new here, I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in love and relationships, self-development, and finances, and I have been doing so for close to a decade. And something I need y'all to understand is what the nature and the nurture of a person is. The nature of a man is to be helpful, to be a provider, to be a protector, right? To ensure everything is in the right place. That is the nature of a man. That's what they want to do innately. The nurture of a man, the nurture of a person, period. But the nurture portion is what he is shown and what he is taught. Now I need y'all to keep up. A reason that men aren't the way they used to be, aren't the way that your uncles and your cousins and your daddies were when it comes to how they treat a woman, is because women stopped requiring it. Women stopped requiring men to treat them a certain type of way. Women started wanting to act like men and wanted to do things that men do and wanted to walk in men's shoes. And so guess what? The nurture of a man now, what you have taught that man is y'all don't need them. So when they see this enough, they develop the mindset that this is just how women are, or at least how new women are. And so they become what? Less helpful. They provide less and they protect less. Now, keep in mind, baby, I said one of the reasons. Okay, so I'm not putting all the blame on women, but women hold a big part. I keep telling y'all, you are powerful. But if you do not realize the extent of your power, the power is useless. If women on a whole started following the nature, the femininity, the softness, the nurturing part of being a woman, I can guarantee you that what men do will shift. Stay safe.
And that's really it. That's really it. I think he's exposing what men go through. It's like the trap, right? Modern women have pretty much eliminated every single location that a man used to meet him, that a man used to approach. And then you're acting confused as to why men stop approaching you. Where else is he supposed to go? What else is he supposed to do? You told him, don't approach here, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. And now guys are like, well, there's not really anywhere that I can approach without being labeled a creep. Man, these women, man, I'm telling you.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance, and my mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gotten married, they would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing. He wrote her poetry. He was yearning. How my aunt and my uncle met. My aunt was a dancer on a cruise ship, and he was the photographer, and he was persistent. She overheard him one night saying to his buddy, he was like, I'm gonna marry that girl. He had just met her, and now they're married and they have 2 kids together. I don't hear anything like that now. Now we're praising eye contact. Now we're praising if a guy held a door open to us and smiled. That is what we're praising. It feels so backwards. I just wonder when it shifted, because I feel like that is the whole downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone now, because men just don't care anymore.
If you're one of the young women that are always saying, where are all the good men at? Ask yourself this instead. Why am I attracted to the men that are not good for me? Ask yourself that question, reflect on it, and it'll get you much farther than asking yourself the former.
Hi, I'm Sam, I'm 33, I'm single, and I have a PSA for the single men, okay? If a girl asks you for a FaceTime call before a date, you do not need to take it from your corporate desk setup and have your camera be moving with you. This is not an interview, this is a vibe check. You can be comfy on your couch.
Where are all the good men? You need more than one? Well, I need options, a pool of people to choose from. Oh, so we're shopping for men now. I just want to be able to choose wisely. A net catches more bees with honey. What does that even mean? You don't need a bigger pool, you need a better signal. Right now, your energy is saying, where are they? Why aren't they here yet? Instead of becoming the person who attracts the right one. So it's about me again. It's always about you. So then what do? Shift your energy from scarcity and desperation to high value and self-trust. At that point, you won't even need all the options because the right one will come to you.
What pisses me off is the discourse around how women only go for the top 15% of men. Like, am I supposed to be going for the fat loser who doesn't have a job and lives at home? Am I supposed to be attracted to that? Obviously, I'm going to be attracted to the guy who's ambitious, the guy who's manly, the guy who takes care of himself and his health and works out, the guy who's tall, the guy who's going to give my kids good genetics. Why on earth would I be attracted to the fat loser? Or any loser for that matter? Even an average guy, why, if I could pick the best of the best, why would I be attracted to the mid-tier? Hello, especially if I'm a top quality girl. What happened to earning your place in this world? You're gonna be a loser in this life and then expect people to want you? That's just common sense that's not going to happen. If I was fat and ugly, I would not be surprised that men are not going for me and instead they want the girls who are fit and beautiful. I didn't earn to be on their level. I didn't earn to be wanted like that. So maybe instead of complaining that women only want the top 15%, work on becoming top 15% or somewhere near that number instead of sitting at home being a loser, trying to be a little victim.
So here's what I've decided. And here's what I think all women should do who are single and this age. When going out on a first date with a man, coffee, forget the drinks. Here's what we do, ladies. Trader Joe's. Tell our men, you want to meet? You're going to meet at Trader Joe's. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to meet there because number 1, fully populated, safe. Okay? Number 2, I want to see how you shop. I want to know what you're eating. I want to know how you snack. I want to know if your snacks are cauliflower or if it's chips. and cookies and cake. I want to know if we vibe with our food choices. I want to know how you shop. I want to know how nice you are to the cashier. I want to see it in real time. This is what we're doing, ladies. This. Forget the dinners and the coffees and those meetups where it's kind of like a job interview and we're all on our best behavior. I want to see how you are in a crowded grocery store when the little old lady is, taking up the whole aisle and you have to wait your turn or say, excuse me, I want to see what you do, sir. I want to see what you do. That's my flex. I'm going with it.
Women nowadays will literally be like, I can't find any good men. There are no good men left. And then they'll be like, I just need 6 feet, about 6 inches, and 6 figures.
Even if this video was just meant for fun, it's still another case of men acting like women have impossible standards so that they feel better about themselves when they don't meet them. And it bothers me because these guys are acting like women are looking down on men who they would consider less than perfect. But have you ever heard a woman talk about a bum who she's in love with? Because she'll make every excuse in the world for why that man is incredible and just misunderstood. So let's say, for example, that a man has no job. She's not going to let you sit there and call him unemployed. No, she's going to tell you how it's probably because no one ever encouraged him and that he's going to be able to do anything he sets his mind to once she just believes in him. You're acting like women will only date men who make 6 figures, but I know women who are working 2 jobs with full insurance and a 401k who are dating men with 60 cents in their bank account because she thinks he has potential. I don't know how you can act like women will only settle for rich men anyways when most families are living paycheck to paycheck and can't survive on one income, because I think that means they married for love. And don't even get me started on what's between the legs, because there are women in 30-year marriages who have never successfully had a no, and you're going to act like women are out here throwing the whole man away because of his size? Because I don't think so. In fact, there are women out here faking O's so that the men in their lives don't feel inadequate, and yet you're going to act like we're out here bringing measuring tapes to our coffee dates? And sure, when it comes to height, maybe some women do have a preference for men who can reach the top shelf or the cookie jar, but that's all subject to change. If he's a good man with good qualities, then she may just fall in love and try to convert the whole world talking about how we love a short king. Listen, the truth is that even you don't believe this nonsense, because if you really believed that women had impossible standards, then you wouldn't be telling them to pick better men at every opportunity. So when I see videos like this, I realize that they're usually not mad about what women want. They're just mad that women don't want them.
Yo, regret be hitting so much harder when it's self-realized.
I was in college. I dated a very traditional Christian man who asked me at one point, how do you feel about after you graduated, we just immediately got married and you were a stay-at-home wife and you didn't have to work? Ooh. I was honestly offended by that question because I was so passionate about this thing that I was getting a degree in that I was just so eager to enter the workforce and do this thing that I loved and get money for it. Fast forward to today, I've graduated, we broke up, I'm now working in the profession of the thing that I got a degree in, and I changed my mind. Aww. I changed my mind. I know. What the I don't want to do it anymore. I'm
done. That's how regret sounds, yo. It sounds like a whole bunch of yo, shorty had it good. Get married right after graduation, become a stay-at-home wife, chilling. Homie's gonna take care of everything. Yo, that sounds traditional. That sounds like a soft, nice life. But no, that modern woman in her just couldn't help. She said she got offended. So she got mad at him and all that. Fast forward, she got her degree. Congratulations. Now you in the workforce. It's all self-inflicted. This is everything she said she wanted herself. Now she's working, paying bills. The life ain't soft. And homie probably found him somebody, married him somebody. And that chick is like, yo, shout out to you, shorty, for choosing that career. Because whoever he married got that soft life. Meanwhile, she's over here crying on the internet, sobbing on the internet, doing this. I don't know even what that sounds like. That just sounds but she doing it. So ladies, before you regret, if you have the opportunity to live a soft life, mad nice, mad shorties want this life, then you should take it and you should do it. Regret like this? Oof, I wish that on nobody.
Ladies, I'm gonna tell you a secret, okay? And I hope that this helps, but some of y'all may not like it, okay? I need y'all to stop listening to the negative Nancys, bitter Bettys, the miserable Marys, you know, the women who get on here and talk about it's all men. I hate all men. All men are bad. All men are not bad, baby. the men that they have access to are bad. Because check this out. Those men have very low barriers of entry. They don't require much. They know they ain't so they don't expect for the women that they are dealing with to be. The truth of the matter is, a man that has done the work, a man who knows God, a man who has morals and standards and ethics, a man who has done the hard work to gain a certain level of income so he can have a certain lifestyle, a man that has done the work to heal from his past traumas, a man who has gained a level of access and accumulated certain levels of assets. That man is not going to give all that away for free. That man is not going to give that to a woman with a nasty attitude and an entitled mindset. That man that has done that work is not going to deal with a woman with low self-esteem and no confidence. He is looking for his equal, his equally yoked partner. If he's giving her money, he needs to make sure she's going to be a good steward of the money and multiply it and be fiscally responsible. If he is giving her a home, he wants to make sure she's going to be a good caregiver of that home. If he is covering her and protecting her, he needs to know that she's going to be all right with cooperating. Because it's hard to protect something that's fighting against you. You get where I'm going? There are good men out there, but they're going to require you to be a good woman. And there are a lot of women out here that are not good women, and so they only have access to bad men. And that's why they say all men. Don't listen to them. There are some good men out there, but they are literally hiding from the crazies. Just like we are, right? Right.
I wish that I could be
Here comes the
as delusional as some men.
Welcome back to Delulu Land, where the Delilahs seem to believe that all of the Delulu logic comes straight from a man.
Are you serious?
Because what? How are y'all okay with the woman that you are with? You say you love working.
No free lunch for you.
If she wants to do it, that's one thing. If you require her to work and pay for anything, sir, what?
Flag on the play. I don't know what the that was supposed to be, but in 2026, unless a guy's rich, both the man and the woman have to get out here and grind to get these chips. You ain't never lied.
I am never again ever gonna be with somebody who's like, oh, so what do you do for work? Like that's the first thing they ask.
I figured it out.
Next time I'm just be like, I volunteer. I make nothing.
Are you trying to take advantage of me?
I just would like to be taken care of by someone, love my life, that wants to give me a soft life so I can be the most feminine that I've ever been, which has been basically never, which is probably why the past 6 years, I've buzzed all my hair off like 10 times.
Can you be quiet for a minute?
And that concludes today's tour through the mind of a Delulu Delilah.
Got my blood pressure all up.
Gentlemen, listen. If the only reason she's with you is for you to be her retirement plan, then you don't need her in your life.
That's right.
Do yourself a favor when you find out that she thinks like this and show her ass taillights and tailpipes.
She doesn't care about her family. Of course she's not going to admit it, but you look at her actions. She was willing to ruin her whole entire family because I can't be myself. You obviously could be yourself because you married this guy. You wouldn't marry a guy who you didn't feel safe with. That's literally just a cope. And she's not a victim. And she's calling people bullies because they're holding her accountable. Trust me. I know I said this again, but she is gonna regret doing that, and she's defending herself so much because she knows she up. That's what women do. When they know that they up, they're gonna defend the out of themselves, and they're gonna villainize their man, because women think that being humble is like bad, or like it's I don't know, if you can admit to your mistakes, you can literally attract the guy that you want. So she's being so defensive because she knows she f***ed up and she doesn't want to admit that. But it's like, this man would be likely to give her another chance if she said, hey, I'm sorry, I let my immaturity blind me. But obviously what she's not going to say to him is the real reason why I took you for granted was because I knew you would always stay. You made me feel comfortable. It's your fault, right? She's not going to tell him like, oh, you know, I got bored of you. She's not going to tell him that she got bored of him and she would start drama to have some fun. No woman just leaves just like that. Usually they start drama before they leave. Not to make y'all like afraid or anything, right? Because there are women out there, when they start drama, they're actually trying to work through things. But in this specific scenario, she was holding on to 10 years of built up resentment. That is a lot. I can't imagine what the was going through. And when a man's a catch, you better keep him. That's all I'm gonna say. He can make his mistakes, he can have his flaws, but bottom line is, if he's protecting you, if you feel safe with him, if he's taking care of you, if he's consistent with you, if he's trying for you, if he's showing through his actions, if he's making time for you, you've got to keep him. You've got to move on from things that do not matter. If you feel like, sorry, my tone was a little bad. If you feel like you can't be yourself around him, that is you, not him. That is your own insecurity. That is your own sabotage. But most importantly, that is you not appreciating him for the efforts that he makes.
Men are the prize. Don't me. Before you report my account and go marching on Capitol Hill, let me explain. Men are actually the prize. More specifically, high value men. Not just about their wealth. You guys know what my definition of high value is. Go back and watch the previous video. It's not just wealth. It is more than just a wealthy man. But some men are actually the prize. Let's think about this from a basic economic standpoint. You know, I love financial literate women. Let's rationalize here. When there is a high demand for something, but a very low supply, then obviously there's a high value to it. However, on the flip side of that, when there is a high supply of something, but a very low demand, then it's very common. That's not something of much value or any value at all. So yes, men of that caliber are in fact the prize, and women, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you know where I'm going with this. There are far more women out there who want a man that is wealthy, very successful, a man who is family oriented, emotionally intelligent, kind, generous, loyal out there than men who actually exist. So we obviously have to consider this in terms of scarcity, correct? I think my fiance is as prize can get. I put him on a pedestal. I treat him as such. However, on the flip side, you do not want a man who makes being the prize his entire personality. You do not want a man who actively thinks about being the prize 24/7. Run. Leave him in the dark. And by definition, I am a very traditional woman. I grew up in a very traditional household. So I believe that a woman is in fact supposed to submit to a man. I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as he's respectful, as long as he doesn't degrade me, as long as he remains kind, loyal, the kind of man that I love, I have no problem doing that. And some of you may disagree. That is perfectly okay. While some of you may also disagree that men are not the prize. That is okay as well. However, it is very important to be realistic. Now, you as a woman are in fact a prize yourself. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not saying that you don't carry any weight, you don't carry any value. You in fact do bring value. I'm simply just saying there are far more women out there that can offer the same thing across the board than there is women who are actively searching to get one of these men. That's all I am saying. So do not shoot the messenger. Listen to the message, please. I'm just being honest here. Okay? Bye.
A lot of these modern women have to make the first move and they hate it. It's not a very good experience for them. A lot of these modern women grew up thinking that men are supposed to do all that, and men usually did. They usually did. But men stopped doing that. So now you have to put yourself out there. You have to risk rejection. You got to initiate. And now you're realizing, oh shoot, maybe it's not that easy. Men just made it look that way. Maybe, just maybe, now that I'm approaching, there were some things that I did and some ways that I acted that were completely out of line. Maybe men were doing the right thing, But because I had some bad sushi that night, I acted out of character and I tried to clown him because my stomach was hurting. My bad.